Monday, January 16, 2017 to order. We have a quorum and the agenda was properly posted.
Yes.
Okay, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item next is public appearances, public's opportunity to speak about any subject that's not a specific agenda item. I'm guessing we don't have any.
Nothing.
All right, moving right along. Item 5, discuss and consider the minutes of the regular village board meeting of 12/19. Everybody had a chance to look at those?
Motion to approve as presented?
Okay, second. Motion by Alex and second by Troy to approve as presented. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. Item 6 is new business. Discuss and consider resolution 2017-01 authorizing the village clerk to determine the number of election officials at all elections in the village of Cottage Grove. The resolution, is there any questions or thoughts on that?
How did this come up?
We are going to be having a primary in February, which is only going to be one item on the ballot, which is school superintendent of state public instruction.
Oh.
So it's going to be a fairly low turnout.
So you want all 7 people to watch the 3 voters?
Right, so by state statute, it says 7, or you can go down to 5, but by resolution of your municipality, you can drop it down to 3, and that's the purpose of this, so that it gives us the authorization if we have a small election or anticipation of a small election, we can go to 3 poll workers instead of 5 or 7.
Save people some time and a little bit of money.
Yeah,
And it gives the village clerk you that authority.
right.
Yeah. I mean, I can see where it's not going to be a huge turnout, but, you know. Any other questions or thoughts? John, anything? No. Okay. I will move approval of resolution 2017-01 authorizing the village clerk to determine the number of election officials at all elections in the village of Cottage Grove. Second. Motion and second to approve. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Okay, we are down to reports from village boards, commissions, and committees. Law Enforcement Committee. You'll see the 1227 law enforcement agenda there. Any questions on that? Our next meeting would be January 24th. And just as far as members of the Law Enforcement Committee are concerned, Jennifer's asked to be removed for work and time commitments. And I asked Troy if he had nothing to do every fourth Thursday.
There you
Or
go.
Tuesday,
Every
sorry.
fourth Thursday, and
Yeah.
we're in.
Tuesday.
Very smooth.
Yeah, so Troy's agreed to step up for that, so thank you, Troy. Chief Labor, anything from the police department as far as law enforcement committee?
No, just we had ordered a bunch of equipment at the end of the year, and some of it's arrived. We're still waiting on others, but
Okay.
it'll definitely help us protect the officers in tactical situations, so greatly appreciated.
Yeah, some of this was long needed for a while, and it was still under budget, so. Yep.
There's a mentioning that you worked on more no parking zones around some of the schools, I guess. So how, throughout the year, we've been sort of working on it different areas, and has it been going? Good feedback from the people dropping off, or from the crossing guards for safety, and how's it been going?
Well, it's a work in progress. We can't put up the signs right now because the ground's frozen.
Okay.
And we just can't shove them in the snowbank. Someone will grab them, run off with them. So we did get voluntary compliance at Taylor Prairie on North Parkview, but as soon as we moved the teachers off of one side of the road, the parents filled in the gap. So that's why we have to make that a no parking zone, but we can't put the signs up yet, so.
Does that also, JJ, are you going to paint the curbs for that then too?
We can, if you'd like the curbs painted, we can.
Why not? If you're going to do it, do it.
Yeah.
Go big, go home.
The problem is it's only limited during school hours.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And we'll peel the paint back.
Roll the paint back?
Roll it back.
Okay. And that's about it from law Law Enforcement Committee, Emergency Government, Troy?
We met Wednesday, January 4th, caught up on most of our meeting minutes that we've been missing. I think we're just missing August now. We tabled information officers training. You weren't there, Jack. We reviewed member contact information, and also we're going to be involved, Cottage Grove is going to be involved on March 2nd with a CART exercise. That's a child abduction response team. And I think, Chief, you might have more information on that than I do.
All right, that'll be March 2nd. It's the State Justice Department Division of Criminal Investigation and various law enforcement agencies in the area have a child abduction response team. So they'll respond to communities in the area if a child is abducted, and they have the training and the resources and the personnel to assist the local law enforcement agency in looking for that child. So this is their certification, national certification test on March 2nd, and it'll be taking place here in Cottage Grove and will be part of the exercise. So it'll give us a lot of good practical experience in doing this and help them out by getting them certified.
Okay.
And they have to actually go through all the motions, so it'll seem pretty real that day.
Okay.
We will notify the newspaper, village website, Facebook, and put up the highway signs so people know what's going on that day.
Great, great.
Thank you for starting that information sheet of contact information, because there's quite a assembly of people there, and everybody's
Yeah.
phone numbers and emails are always
Yeah.
changing. And
Yeah, well,
need to keep it up.
I'm sure there's still things that need to be corrected, but I've
Yeah.
corrected what people have responded to me
Okay.
for, and then I'll include it in the next packet for the meeting then.
Okay.
And then future agenda items we're going to discuss, there's a hydrate exercise upcoming here this summer, another exercise with a more intense chemical spill type scenario. So next meeting will be February 1st.
All right, thanks, Troy. Community Development Authority, I was not here. I was on ice-covered roads in Janesville. I'll let Aaron talk about it.
Yeah, we're continuing our discussions of potential land uses for the land north of the interstate. This time around, we looked at about a dozen different sites in Dane County, business parks, retail areas, large single business areas, just to compare land values, improvement values, numbers of employees on a per acre basis to kind of compare the relative effects of different land uses. And then Rudebush provided us with some recent Madison area market reports for industrial, retail, and office. So we were able to look at absorption rates and total amounts of those different land uses that are available and vacancy rates, things like that for the area, with the purpose of trying to zero in on what's the best balance of land uses that provide tax base and employee benefits to the village with what's realistic in terms of the marketplace.
Okay. Good. I think that's nice to have that metric of how many employees and what type of businesses, just for a long-range plan. Okay. Plan Commission, I'll let Aaron talk a little bit about that. There's a discuss and consider the proposed ETJ certified survey map from Kurt Harry. I'll let Aaron talk about that a little bit.
This is pretty straightforward. This is a ETJ property out in the town of Sun Prairie on Pierceville Road. Basically, two adjacent property owners. There's a shed in the middle, and they're transferring ownership from one property owner to the other. So the CSM connects the shed to the southern property and then shifts the property value between the two landowners slightly to accommodate some setback requirements under Dane County zoning. It was approved with no conditions by the Plan Commission unanimously.
Okay. All right, so then the question is to discuss and consider the proposed ETJ. Anybody have any thoughts or questions, concerns?
I'll make a motion to approve the proposed ETJ CSM from Kurt Harry to modify the lot lines on the properties located at 4925 and 4909 Pierceville Road in the town of Sun Prairie.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Alex and second by John to approve the ETJ CSM request. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Utility Commission?
Yeah, there's,
Oh, sorry.
there were also a couple of public appearances. The Conservancy Court the neighborhood around Conservancy Court. Some residents came to discuss some of the flooding issues that they're experiencing in that general area. And as you may recall, some of that was discussed during, or how to rectify that was discussed during the budget process, and ultimately wasn't approved for various reasons, one of which there's a current proposed development in the property where this runoff is coming from. So certainly with that coming through the approval process, they'll need to address any issues that they're causing. In the meantime, I suggested that we try to get a special meeting together to just focus on that one issue with just a neighborhood meeting, maybe have Public Works Committee, any board members that would want to come, and then more importantly, trying to get certain key kind of expert type people there, someone from DNR, someone from Dane County, have the Helgoland property owners and their consultants, Hamburg, just that can kind of bring everyone in one spot to try to discuss that further.
I did go out there and I met with one of the owners that actually emailed us, and it's kind of easy to see with that topography where the issue could be coming from with the proposed development. And once that's solved by the land work, I guess, then we can look at the dredging or the rectifying that part. But, I mean, I guess that falls under a wetland. You can throw a softball across it. It's not very big, but it's still kind of a wetland.
And I think that's really part of the core issue. It's not designed for runoff, it's designed to be wet.
Mhm.
And so the water table was just naturally high in that location. 3 years of heavy rains
Yeah.
haven't helped. Right? I mean, just filled it up and it just keeps rising.
Yep.
But I think Matt's idea is great. I mean, what I see happening is, because we talked about it in different budget meetings, we talked about it in our budget review meeting. The residents came and did a great job of bringing their concerns. I was not at the meeting, but heard about it. And I think Matt's idea is warranted. Just get everybody at the table.
Mhm.
Because you had a meeting, all these different people had meetings, just put everybody in one room and
Yep.
hash it out. So,
Yeah.
Just some dates, just taking a look. It's hard to coordinate that many people. I know the residents that were here hoping, they were hoping to even have this discussed tonight, and you just can't really pull all that together that quickly. We're looking at, to avoid conflicts with other village meetings, likely February 27th or 28th. If you want to kind of pencil that in for now. And JJ's already made some contacts with some DNR and Dane County representatives, and we'll just keep trying to put this together.
Okay.
I think Tuesday, the March 7th, would be the Public Works and Utilities meeting, the first Tuesday of the month. That's another one that would be,
Okay.
we can put it as a single item and
Mm-hmm.
attack a few other things.
Okay. Probably a good idea to have a neighborhood meeting about it. Anything else?
And then Town Chair Chris Hampton came to tell us that we should be sitting down with them to discuss road connections sooner rather than later due to annexations that are out there.
Actually, after he was here, I reviewed that, and I don't think there are any town streets abutting any of the proposed areas, so I
Okay.
don't think that's going to be an issue. But more generally, as far as communicating with them, that's part of the CARPC process to get those approvals. Town residents within 200 feet of the plat will get noticed when that process goes through. The town gets noticed when we rezone the area, so there'll be plenty of opportunities for them to be kept in.
That's also up to the builders too. I mean, if they don't want to connect, can the village force that? Say there is a connection into the town. I mean, you can't force it, right? So,
Right, I think in the case of Hamburg, I think he wanted to connect, but the town didn't want him to connect, so it's kind of the opposite.
We can,
Well, he brings it to the property line.
Yeah.
we can direct the right-of-ways to connect, whether, when and whether the streets ever connect is kind of a joint
Sure.
decision.
Okay. Anything else, Matt?
That was it.
Okay. Utility Commission now.
Utility Commission, We did a bunch of budget approvals, so that's the water and sewer operating budget and also the water and sewer capital budgets. It's really just a mirror image of the budgets that was approved by the board.
Okay.
Probably with just some tweaking with the personnel and how things are cut. JJ refined the zero lot line application to clarify some language, and that was also approved. This is for when, correct me if I'm wrong, but if the house is a twin and they want to split it into two separate unique properties, and there's maybe one water line feed or one lateral, and it's the language about how that.
And we don't require them to make it a double water feed then?
That's really what we're looking to do.
Okay.
That's if you're going to apply for this, we're really pushing to have the single shut off, because right now you can shut off the one side and it shuts off both sides.
Right.
It's not a preferred situation, so it's just a clarification. We wrote off some outstanding accounts to the tune of $9.14, so that was fine. And in the sewer budget, I just want to let everybody know that the bills are slightly changing. Madison Sewer District, there's like a flat fee, and then there's a per gallon usage type fee.
Oh,
And so with that, they increased the per volume charge, but they reduced the flat fee. And so similarly,
Opposite.
the other way around.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right here.
Reduce the volume charge.
Oh, yeah,
increase
sorry.
the fixed.
They reduced the volume charge, they increased the fixed. You're right. Continue here. I'm looking right at it and I still missed it. So the net effect is about a $2.40 change.
okay.
And so we were trying to keep in alignment with the Madison Sewer District. And that's it.
Okay.
$2 what, increase or $2?
It's 2016. Yes, unfortunately, it is an increase. Thanks for the clarification.
Yes.
But yeah, it is a net increase of $2.
So folks that are conserving water, they're gonna get hit with the rate up front is what they're getting at.
So the water bill that we got in January was the first part of that increase or not?
That was the utility case.
Okay.
That's the the capital project for Gaston Road and all that other
Okay.
stuff. So this is the sewer. This is the unregulated
Yep.
utility.
Okay. All right, thanks, Alex. Reports from village officers, Troy?
No report.
Okay, Kyle is absent and excused. Alex?
No report.
All right, Jennifer is also absent and excused. And Harvey?
No report.
All right, John?
EMS is this week, later on Thursday. That's the only thing coming up.
Okay. All right, under my name, you'll see a couple things. One is, I mentioned previously, discuss and consider appointment of Troy Allen to the Law Enforcement Committee, replacing Jennifer, and I'll move that we approve Troy Allen.
That's a second, right? Second.
Yep. Motion and second to approve appointment of Troy Allen to the Law Enforcement Committee. Any other discussions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. I put discuss and consider police commission vacancy, but there's really not much to consider since I don't know that we have candidates. Randy Martineau had to resign for work and family commitments. And I believe where we leave it with the police commission is they can't be members of any other commissions or committees, just they have to be just a citizen of the village.
Right.
And so we're kind of looking for somebody to get in ahead of the hiring process that we'll probably have pretty soon.
How often do they meet?
As needed, I guess. Is that correct, Chief, of the police commission?
Yeah, I don't think we met in 2016, did we?
Is this when you have a hiring process or if a
Or-
disciplinary issue?
When we set up the new department
Yeah.
and set up the new board, then they met several times. And I think they were part of your hiring process, right?
Right?
Is there a contract due this year? Will they be involved with that?
No.
No. They'll be involved in February doing interviews for police officers. Late February.
It's mainly hiring, firing, and just.
Yep.
Yep.
So if anybody knows of anybody that they think would be interested, just let me know or let Matt know or something. Right.
It's also a way of guaranteeing you're not put on any other village
That's
board.
true.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, my wheels are spinning.
By default, you don't get tapped for anything else. All right, fair enough. Attorney Lee Boucher, anything?
One of the reasons I came out on this beautiful evening to spend time with you was just to make sure that I had a chance to talk to all of you and let you know that I have to go in for some medical work The good news is that they checked me over, and as a lawyer, I do have a heart. That's a good thing. The bad thing was that the heart needs some tune-up work, so I'll be going in on Thursday. I've been working with Matt and staff in terms of making sure that there's a contact person, and I've also talked to several of my friends who are municipal attorneys who, in case we're invaded or there's a big issue, would be available. But I should be at home within about a week and back up on the computer and on the phone. So
You have a computer?
it's not something I like to talk about, but up to this, actually, Alex, up until about 5 months ago, it was embarrassing to even bring my computer, but now I at least could do that. So anyway, if anyone has questions or anything comes up, please contact Matt first, and then he'll route to me. And like I said, I'm hoping to be back by possibly the first meeting in February. I scheduled this so that I guess it gave the doctor some clue as to maybe some of the contributing factors. I said, we have this big transaction out in this municipality, and I'd like to get that done. And I'm pleased to be able to tell you that we are signing final paperwork tonight for the Summit Credit Union development. So I was pleased that I was able to get that wrapped up before I had to be away for a little bit.
Okay. All right,
Get
Matt.
back soon.
Yeah, and that closing is first week in February.
Right.
For Summit on the land.
Summit's our part of it is going to be done essentially tonight.
But they're
So we're gonna-
closing with Landmark.
Yeah,
is
they're closing with
first week in
Landmark
February.
first week in February, and they're very excited, and so it's gone real well.
Okay, anything else, Matt?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, Aaron?
I've talked a few times about the DOT project that's out there looking at increasing capacity on I-39, 90, 94. They're going to be starting up with some stakeholder meetings, but they've also extended an invitation to come and speak at one of our meetings if there's an interest on your part in hearing more about that.
Sounds good. Chief Labor, anything?
Nothing.
Okay. JJ, anything besides ice and snow?
Just ice and snow.
All right. Let's see, item next, consider approval of vouchers. Any questions?
Motion to approve is presented.
Okay, a second.
Second.
Okay. Second by Troy. Any other discussion? Okay, if not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Okay, motion passes. Correspondence, anything? Okay. Future agenda items,
A lot of things working their way through the planning process. That'll end up through the plan commission, eventually the board, but they're at various stages working with Aaron and all the plats that people are doing due diligence on and that sort of thing. So
okay. All right, and with 5 Mondays in January, so February 6th is our next meeting? Is that, we're not doing the 5th Monday of January? Okay.
And we have calendars that start on Sundays, I guess.
Yeah, I'm, put my glasses on.
yeah, it's February 6th.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Anything else for future agenda? Okay, one item left.
Motion to adjourn?
Second? Motion and second to adjourn, non-debatable. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, adjourn. Thank you.